Good Packer Nation morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, and holy smokes, it's been a while. I feel like it's been forever since I've done one of these. Adjust this just. And apparently it has been a while since I can't seem to get my feed working. But I did do a few tricks, and I think that the feed should be going much better now, which is one very good thing. Guys, we have got roster cuts already coming down today. Some very sad people out there in Packer Nation. Hopefuls, and also, of course, those of you who are fans of some of these guys. As we get on, it's time to start Packer Nation Roll Call. We've got Roos Maine on here right now. Let me know who you are and where you're from. But while we're at that, talk about Peter Mortel being cut by the Packers before we really got going too much. We still had one preseason game to go. And in the meantime, hi, Alec, Sean, Terry, King Dre, Tony, DM Kreutzer. Good to see you, man. And I hope I'm saying Kreutzer right because I'm using that from Victorsville, California. Wayne is here. Jared is back. And Tucson Zhang. Terry is here. Christo is back. Good to see you. Roosmain, Antonio, Shane, and Andy. We are going to talk about why Tim Mastay over Peter Mortel. And I have some thoughts on that, okay? But in the meantime, Jim is here, Steve is here, Kristen, Dan, and Teddy T. Rex. Good to see you from over there in Placerville, California. Joey is back, and he says good morning to all of Packer Nation out there. A lot of people are upset about Peter Mortel. I see the angry faces coming across. Now, let me say this, and this is, again, we have to read between the lines, okay? What I see and what I've heard from Coach McCarthy, he did definitely talk about that punt placement needs to improve a little bit, so that is one of the reasons that we know Peter Mortel must not have been chosen for this spot. Phil is here, I see. Risto, good to see you. Marcus, Jacob, Cool Breeze Thompson, that's pretty cool. LB Smith, good to see you. But we know that's one reason. And another reason, I think, with that return that Mortel had on his punt, the net of about 37 yards on that play, which really wasn't his fault. But by the time all was said and done, I think his net average may have ended up less than Tim Mastay's. But for crying out loud, Peter kicked so many more balls in this preseason that I thought he deserved a shot. However, let me tell you, okay, guys, I know a lot of you are ticked off about this. We talked about this a couple days ago, and I think a lot of us were pulling for Peter Mortel, but I personally was not surprised at all that they went with Mastay. We talked about this, that maybe they're going to go with a known quantity, because one of the things that Peter Mortel would not have, no matter how you cut it, is a lot of punt volume in game situations. So apparently he didn't show enough. But let me tell you the thing that he did show that I really thought might have put Mortel over the hump. And this was my favorite play by him, and it wasn't a punt, nor was it a hold. My favorite play was when Mortel, the high snap that Mortel went up and grabbed and fielded and punted cleanly, I thought showed some athleticism. Gosh, that turned an absolutely devastating play, a bad snap, high snap, into a very fine play, a play that had nothing wrong with it. Mortel showed a lot of athleticism in that, and to be able to snag the ball out of space like that, gosh, there's some receivers that struggle with that kind of thing. And I thought, to me, that made me feel like Mortel would be a guy with a high ceiling, that yes, maybe he had some development to do, but would be very athletic as opposed to, and that's not what you think of a punter as being. But when you get a high snap, you can snag it out of the air like that. That said something to me. I thought that might put Mortel over the top, and then a couple days later, of course, find out that that's not the case. Well, the Packers, we know to some extent, are a bit conservative in this sense. They don't like to take a lot of risks, and I didn't think Mortel was going to be a big risk. But at the same time, Samantha says, wasn't surprised at all. We all kind of felt that way, Samantha, that yes, we thought Mortel had a lot of promise, but a lot of us were not surprised when it was Mastay, the known quantity, the guy that really, remember, Tim Mastay revived the Packer punting group from the abysmal depths. We struggled for years having any kind of a solid punting game, and finally Mastay kind of gave us some sort of steadiness. I think the Packers were very want to bring in someone new, that was to some extent still an unknown quantity. So we will see Tim Mastay punting again for another year. And you can angry face right now or heart. If you are angry about Tim Mastay being our punter, now's the time. Go ahead and pour it on. Let me see the angry faces. But if you're happy, you think it was the right call, go ahead and heart it or give me a thumbs up right now. Good morning, Daniel. LB Smith is here. He'll make it somewhere. And that's exactly right. LB Smith is making a good point. And this is what I said today. I think I'm very happy that the kid got a lot of opportunity to get out on the field and kick the ball. The most important thing for me is that this kid gets a job somewhere. I think he deserves a job somewhere, and I think he'll find it. And the one thing he got out of punting for the Green Bay Packers in the preseason is he got a lot of game tape on film. He did a good job. I think this guy's going to get picked up by somebody, and that's a good thing to heart about right now. If you're happy that Mortel got a chance to get out on the field, maybe he won't be a Packer, but that he has a chance to make a roster because he got a lot of punts on tape for other teams. Go ahead and heart right now for Peter Mortel. And in hopes, this will be our well wishes to Peter Mortel right now, that you get a job somewhere. Just go ahead and hit that heart button. Again, if you're not driving, we know a lot of people in Packer Nation were pulling for this kid. If you're from Wisconsin like me in particular, it really sort of tore me apart to see the kid not become a Packer. Not that I was against Tim Mastay. We all knew that was a real possibility, but I've got a big heart for Peter Mortel. Did a fantastic job, did everything that was asked of him, and I do hope he gets a job in the NFL because I think he's going to be a fantastic punter. And Shane is saying that Mortel made Tim fight for his spot, and that is exactly right. Remember, competition is always a good thing. Competition makes our team better, and I think that we are going to be a better team because of this competition that we had. Israel says he's going to get picked up soon. Yeah, I think so. Donald's here. Donald, I think you maybe messaged me the other day. Donald is in Green Bay. Getting ready to watch practice today. So, let us know how that goes. We're interested in your thoughts on the Packers as they, again, develop this team going into the fourth preseason game, folks. This is it. So, roster cuts are coming up. We've already seen 6 of those or 7 of those come down. Let me just go over those real quick because really the only surprise was Peter Mortel, right? Because we've got, Demetrius Anderson, Randall Jett, we kind of expected would have to get cut. Jamel Johnson, Derek Matthews, and Ed Williams, a couple of the wide receivers that we knew not only were they on the bubble, but they really weren't able to show what some of these other guys had done. We got Geronimo Allison that has really come on strong and showed that he belongs, to be quite honest. And he is one of those kids that's going to end up on the bubble just by virtue of the fact that we are so deep at that wide receiver spot. But I really like the guy, of course. And then we've got Trevor Davis as well, who has shown some good things and did a lot of good things, in particular on special teams. Yeah, I know my shirt's reversed. It does that. I don't know what the deal is. But we can't fix it right now. All right, now what did I want to talk about? We had to talk about, of course, Peter Mortel, that being the big surprise in roster cuts. But one thing I love, and go ahead if you feel like it, hit the heart button, if you love the idea that nowadays, got another message coming through, that Coach McCarthy is having all of the assistant coaches get up and do press conferences now. I think this is a way. Last year, Coach McCarthy turned over play calling duties, shook up the job descriptions for the coaches quite a bit, made some changes. And part of the reason he did that is because he saw his coaching staff, none of his coaching staff not enough of them were being considered for head coaching jobs and jobs elsewhere. I thought that was a very heady and thoughtful move by Coach McCarthy. And again, this is the NFL where it can be very cutthroat. Sometimes you want to keep your guys close to your vest so nobody knows about them. He did the opposite. Well, again, we know that kind of backfired on him, right? But this year, he's got all these guys going up there and doing press conferences. I got to tell you, those press conferences with the assistant head coaches, with Dom, of course, Dom, the coordinators, et cetera, are the most enlightening press conferences I have seen to date. And the reason is Coach McCarthy is always trying to hold stuff back. But these cats are getting on there and they are telling us some stuff. I loved hearing, what was my favorite here? I see, I wrote some of these down, actually. I love Joe Witt. I love watching Joe Witt get on there. Joe Witt, to me, reminds me of a modern day Vince Lombardi. You can tell that he doesn't give a crap whether these players have to perform, but yet at the same time, he actually is personable with them, and he works with them at the same time. I am really liking him, but here's what I like now, and I want you to listen up. Because Joe Witt made this comment today, and he actually had history to back him up. We're talking about Super Bowl championship history. He said, the bottom half of your roster is what makes you a championship team. He said, I may be in the minority, but I am for the preseason, and especially this fourth preseason game. The reason he said so, because you're going to see the development of the bottom half of your roster. Now, how can he say that? I mean, who would believe that? Well, let me ask you a question, and he brought this up. How many Packer players, you can throw this, put it in the comments if you know this. How many Packer players, starters, were on injured reserve when we won Super Bowl 45? How many players? Go ahead, roll it up. How many of you know? I know some of you out there know exactly how many players were on injured reserve or close to it, because some of them may or may not have been starters. LB Smith says 17. How many of you know? The Packers with, Mark says 5, Israel says 4, Brian says 11, Risto says 15. We had 16 starters on injured reserve when we won the Super Bowl, folks. Let that sink in for a minute. 16 starters. Now, let's go back in our minds to Super Bowl 45. Did we not lose Charles Woodson in that game? Did we not? Sam Shields went out in that game as well. Did we not lose Donald Driver in that game? Okay, Adam is here. Good morning, Adam. We're talking about the fact that the bottom half of our roster is what brings us Super Bowls. This is a quote by Joe Witt. This isn't something I'm bringing to you. This is a coach that gets out on the field that saw how it happened. The Packers with 16 starters on injured reserve, and then we see Charles Woodson break his collarbone. We see Shields have to go out. We see Donald Driver get hurt. And we saw it again last year against Arizona. What happened? Randall Cobb goes out, right? Coughing up blood on the sidelines. But now let me ask you this. Do you feel good about the fact that our third stringers are beating first string players out there? Our rookie draft picks are going up against Pro Bowlers on the Raiders with Jason Spriggs. He didn't have a great day, but guess what? He learned a lot. Are you happy that our depth is what may or may not determine whether this 2016 Packer team can go the distance? I think the preseason has shown the Packers to be the deepest team in football right now. And that depth may very well be and LB Smith is saying next man up. Great philosophy with Green Bay, and we are showing it. Hector says depth, capital D-E-P-T-H. It's going to make the difference down the road. Now, hopefully, we all hope that our starters get on the field, and those are the guys that you rely on. But what Joe Witt is calling our attention to is the fact that every team in the league will have injuries. And it's the guys you develop behind them that can step on the field at a moment's notice and make big plays in big games that creates Super Bowl championships. And the Green Bay Packers are in the best position, in my opinion. This is my opinion now, not Joe Witt's. We are in the best position in the league in terms of depth right now. To me, there's no question. We've got an extremely deep wide receiver core. We knew that coming in. But let me ask you this. Is it not a surprise to you? We knew that the inside linebacker position was a question mark. We were hoping that Blake Martinez would do great, and he did. But then look at all the other inside linebackers that have been pulling out all the stops, making plays. We're going to see much more of Sam Barrington, who is already a starter. All right, Israel's agreeing with me. Thank you, man. I totally think that this is going to be exceptionally, and it's going, I'm losing my words. It's going to be critical for us down the road, okay? You wait till December and see if I'm not right about this one. And Joe Witt's the one that brought it to my attention today. I think it's fantastic. But here's the thing. I was talking, we're watching these preseason games, and the thing that's actually been a big surprise to me is the inside linebacker group. My goodness. I was expecting that we would be hoping for, Blake Martinez to pull out all the stops, do a good job. I think he did a fantastic job. What I wasn't expecting was for Joe Thomas, for Bradford. Now we know Barrington's going to get a bunch more snaps. He's going to get warmed back up to it. And Jake Ryan has yet to see the field basically at this point. We're not even sure if he's going to make it. He's practiced a little bit now. But that inside linebacker core has suddenly become a position where the competition is extremely, extremely tense and intense right now. And Hector's saying he can smell the Lombardi trophy. Oh, it smells good. Yeah, and it's a long way away. But that's what we're talking about. The trophy is a long way away. February is a long way away. And there's going to be injuries in between. Donald's mentioning Cooter, absolutely, a guy who has flashed and shown promise. He's going to get a lot of reps in this fourth preseason game as well, right? You're going to get more chances to see him. But this team has showed that down the stretch, we get to, say, December at Lambeau, and again, we hope it doesn't happen, but if we have people that need to fill in gaps, we've got more than just gap fillers on our roster right now. We've got guys that are ready to do some damage, to make some plays, and to prepare us to be the champions that we know this team should be. We should have had more Super Bowls between 45 and 50. Give me a thumbs up if you agree with that statement. We should have had more Super Bowls between 45 when we won it, and now it's Super Bowl 50. Okay, but I've said all along, the 01 Super Bowls belong to the Green Bay Packers. It's Super Bowl 1, Super Bowl 31. Now it's time for Super Bowl 51. Can I get a thumbs up for that? It is our time. It's this year. And no more waiting around. We've got a deep team. We got Jared Cook out there who has shown that he's going to be a big part of this offense right now. I got a friend that I basically talked into signing him to his fantasy team, even though fantasy is going to be passé here pretty soon with this new game we got coming out that's much cooler. But Jared Cook added. Jordy Nelson will be coming back. But pretty soon we're going to see him. This is going to be Super Bowl 51. And, when you're a Green Bay Packer fan, you're not afraid to talk about it. Sometimes you just got to lay it out there and talk about it. We're not afraid to do that. Thank you, Edgar. And Ryan says, go Cook, go. Absolutely, because, geez, think the dimension that he's going to add. I would hate to be a defensive coordinator for anybody other than the Green Bay Packers. I would hate to be a defensive coordinator for anyone in the NFC North. For anyone in the NFC East, we have to play each of those teams. For Seattle, for Dallas, for all of those guys, for the Giants, of course, NFC East. I would hate to be the defensive coordinator for the Jacksonville Jaguars right now, wondering what we're going to do with Aaron Rodgers and Jared Cook and Jordy Nelson coming back healthy. And then we've got Randall Cobb, who's already caught 12 passes or something. I mean, the guy is insane, okay? And this is a very deep team. So depth. Corner group is deep, says Jordan. Absolutely, and think how important that could be. Guys, we have picked off 4 passes? We've picked off at least 1 pass in every preseason game right now. If I'm correct on that, right? You can correct me if I'm wrong, but we have 1 in every game and 2 in the second game, right? Against the Raiders. Holy smokes, Adam is predicting 35 points per year. And here's the thing, Adam. I think we're going to run the ball more. Look at how we have commanded the time of possession. But we have also gone out and showed that our hurry-up offense is ready to kick butt and take names right now. It is scary. I wouldn't want to be a defensive coordinator and come up against the Green Bay Packers right now. Andy says number 1 offense, number 5 defense. Again, the defense looks like has the potential to pick up where it left off last year. The one real snafu so far that I see in this preseason, well, actually maybe two. I saw Sam Shields get burnt down the middle. Should have been a completion, should have been a touchdown. We're going to get that corrected, right? It's Sam Shields. Nobody can trail better than Sam Shields because he's so fast. I saw Julius Peppers get sucked in, not set the edge on the big run by Carlos Hyde. 24-yard run, I think it was. Do you think Julius Peppers is going to let that happen again? I don't think so. These are a couple of the things that worry me. Now, on the offensive side of the ball, I will say that we're accumulating too many penalties. But again, that's what the preseason is for. That's what the preseason is for. Eddie Lacy. Mitchell says Eddie Lacy is going to have 1,500 yards and 20 TDs or more. I think that because we are a balanced offense, it will be more in the 1,100. I think he's going to break 1,000. I think he will have more touchdowns this year because we're going to not be afraid to go to him on short yardage situations, on third and goals, on first and goals. I think so. But we will see, right? But at any rate, we have a deep team, and that is extremely important. That's the point I'm trying to make. All right. How about Joe Callahan? I saw this mentioned. I can't remember who mentioned it, but several people giving shouts out to Joe Callahan, number 3. 3 or 4 is what he came in as, right? How about Joe Callahan, number 9, top 10 in passing yards in this preseason. And he's playing preseason football. He's not getting in there forever. We try to get Hundley in there as much as we could. Joe Callahan, number 9 in passing yards right now. This is our third string quarterback who came out of nowhere. And he is just a smart kid. He's instinctive, and he has made some fantastic passes this preseason. He has made some electric plays. So big time props for Joe Callahan going out and running an offense that he just got introduced to. We have a fantastic quarterback room, ladies and gentlemen. It is showing. And LB Smith saying Callahan practice squad unless Hundley can't play. Yeah, for sure. And that's all because Hundley has, so many physical tools. But boy, we are in good shape at quarterback as well. And I think Callahan has a place in this league. Of course, that's Daniel's asking if his ankle makes him keep 3 quarterbacks. I think we're going to have those 3. I mean, I think we'll send Callahan over actually, but we'll have 3 available to us. And that's assuming that Callahan doesn't get picked up. But he has shown a lot of poise in the pocket. He looks, and again, I hate to say this, but he looks like Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is trickling down. I've said this before. His pocket presence is trickling down. He's got a very focused pocket presence with great vision. And he makes the minimum amount of movement necessary to keep himself from being sacked with his eyes downfield. And then when he rolls out, he's always got his shoulder cocked. He's always got his eyes downfield. And this includes guys like Williams and guys like Hundley, who it's very easy for Hundley when he was a rookie, Williams to rely on their legs and their athleticism. But he keeps his eyes down the field, man. This guy, Aaron Rodgers, is trickling down. It's good stuff, right? That's, I think, pretty much what I wanted to talk about today. I'm going to take a look here and see. Anthony says Rodgers rubs off. Yeah, I totally agree, man. Are you not seeing it? We're seeing some of these characteristics that we love about Aaron Rodgers. And the difference is Aaron Rodgers he's got some physical talents, and he's got a better brain pretty much than anyone in the NFL. Here's Trent Thayer is on, guys, supplier of the GPN trophy, which I want to talk about in just a minute. But he says he loves the way Rodgers coaches these guys up. This is an open veteran group that we've got. They're out there teaching. They're out there being coaches. We have a second offensive coordinator on this team, and his name is Aaron Rodgers, and that helps a lot. It's going to be fantastic, okay? And of course, as I've mentioned before, I'm not going to belabor this point today, but I do want to say Friday's the day. Friday is the day that I will be showing off GPN's trophy for our new league that we're creating, the new game that we're creating, okay? So I'm just going to touch on it for a minute because I have been going crazy since Tim got back from Las Vegas, and I'm going to do a post because I want to show you some pictures because the trophy that you all can win was in Vegas and was with the CEO of the company that's building this thing and just about every major prime mover in the company that's building this game called United Games. They are all freaking stoked about GPN's trophy, and one of you guys is going to win it if you can take it away from me, okay? We do know now at this point that everything we've thought so far is absolutely true. I've got more information on the game. I'll do more of that Friday because I don't want to take too much time. But do go to greenbaypackernation.com. If you haven't got your invite yet, that's because the response has been huge. And I want you guys to know, I'm literally filling these out on my phone and sending you texts, okay? So, and I love that because I've gotten texts back and I've had conversations with some folks. So if you haven't got your invite, don't worry. I promise you it's coming. If you haven't gotten it yet, go to greenbaypackernation.com. Just go for the get the app before it even comes out post. There's a form. All we need, name, phone number, email. You're done. It takes about 20 seconds. And I will get you your invite. Because now, I'll talk more about the game. I want to talk about the game, but now one of the things we know is if you do sign up before the game comes out, there's going to be some perks that come along with it. Okay, so one of them is they're probably going to throw you some tokens or some lifetime achievement points to work with that will help you play the game. But also you're going to get a badge that says you knew this thing was coming out before anybody else did. So you're going to be able to prove it to your friends. Okay. And one other thing that I want, Andy is asking, my phone is off. What can I do? Got to get your phone back on, I guess. If you mean that it got like shut off or whatever. It does require, Android, maybe if you got an Android tablet or something like that, but it does require, this is for phones. This is an app. This is where everything is going at this point. But the other thing I want to mention is I want to ask you guys to share this with all your friends on Facebook, but I'm going to tell you, hold off on that, okay? Because just sign up, just get in, pre-register, because the game is going to incentivize you sharing it. You've seen this for every other game, Candy Crush, all of these. You're going to get like tokens or whatever it is for sharing the game with you, so you can hold off on that. Let's just get everybody to jump. Jared angry, Jared smash. But get on, sign up at greenbaypackernation.com. I will be checking and doing these today. I'm trying to keep up. It's a little bit of a slow process, but I like it better because it's much more personal. So each one of you that signs up, you're going to get a text directly from me. This is from my phone to you. I'm sitting here doing it myself. And I think that's fun. I enjoy it. Later on, we'll be able to do it much more quickly, but that's for the folks that didn't jump on early. For you guys that jump on early, it's a little more of a personal touch, and I love it, okay? All right, folks, I'm going to leave it at that because otherwise I could talk all day about this game because I am totally stoked. And Smack Talk is going to be encouraged, and this game will have its own social end where you can smack talk right on it. So it's going to be so much fun, folks. Well, I wanted to say thanks everybody for participating with thumbs up, hearts, etc., etc. We do these sort of impromptu polls. I love it. It's great to see what Packer Nation is thinking, just kind of in general. And at the same time, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'd appreciate if you subscribe to my channel. It really helps us out a lot. And definitely, if you get on, sign up for the game at greenbaypackernation.com. That helps us out a lot. I'd love to see thousands of you guys. And we're getting actually, I think we can pull that off very easily actually today to catch up and get pre-registrations for that game, folks. So you all have a great Tuesday, and I hope that I hope to see you tomorrow. I'm back on schedule, folks. It's going to be about the same time every day now. That sort of 8:30, 9 o'clock slot, Central Standard Time. We're going to be talking about the Packers every day because there's too much to talk about at this point. Well, you guys have a great day. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Go Pack.